ACT skill number 38. If the graph of a of y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, so this is just standard form of a quadratic formula, is shown, then what is the value of a times c? So we want to multiply these. So let's do a little quick reminder of what this means. This a in front represents whether your parabola will open up or if it will open down. So if it opens upward, we know that a is positive. A is positive if it opens up. If it opens downward, we know a is negative. So right now, a has to be positive. We know a is positive. The c always represents the y-intercept. So the value of the y-intercept appears to be around -3. So this value is negative. In this situation, this value is positive. So a times c, a positive times a negative, will be a negative g. Flip to the back side, please. So what are the coordinates of the y-intercept in the graph? Remember, with ACT or any standardized test like the SAT, you want to move as quick as possible. So one way to do this, please do not do this, don't do this, but one way if you were stuck would be to go to y equals, you plug in the equation, you find out what the y-intercept is, but there's a much quicker way. Please circle the C. This always represents the y-intercept. So your y-intercept will always be 0 followed by a number. In this case, for this problem, it is -3. Problem done. Number 2. What are the coordinates for the maximum point on the graph? Well, we're not used to seeing this form. We're used to seeing the form when this number is on the back side. So if I take a -2 and I move it to the right and it crosses over the equal sign, it becomes a +2. Now remember, we're working with time here. So what I'm going to suggest you do is cross out the -2 and just do a +2 and back. Now, could you take time to graph this on a calculator? Sure. But let's think about what this really looks like. Let's just do a real quick graph. Which way am I going to shift it to? Shift it to the right, to the left 3 and shift it up 2. Left 3 and up 2. Is it opening up or down? Down because of the negative. Okay, so this is the general idea of what this looks like. So what are the coordinates of the maximum point? It's your vertex, your focus, okay? Is in this position, sorry, it's your vertex. So it is going to be -3, +2, G. Moving on to number 3. The graph of a standard form of a quadratic function is shown below. When y equals 0, so when y equals 0, that's right in this point right here. When you're on the x-axis, x has 2 real solutions. One of them is a positive number, bless you, and one of them is a negative number. So which one says positive and negative? E. Going to number 4. Now, I don't like number 4. I think they did a real poor job of doing this, and here's the reason why. I think it's natural to assume, you see these little check marks here, little lines? I think it's natural for us to assume that each one of those represents one unit. They don't. So they're really trying to confuse us here. So the first thing I'd like us to do is we're going to have to use common sense to do this. We're going to take each one of these numbers and we're going to move it across the equal sign. When it moves across the equal sign, it changes sign. So this becomes +3, cross out, -3, cross out, +3, cross out, -3, cross out, +3. So keep that in mind that these marks do not represent, each of them represents one unit. Okay, so first of all, let's do common sense here. This thing points downwards. So it opens up downwards. So when I look at my options, I want to look for something that has a negative in front of the parentheses. So it could be F, cannot be G, could be H, could be J, cannot be K. Now, from the origin, it's been shifted to the right. I don't know how many units, but it's been shifted to the right. So, if when it's shifted to the right, do I represent it with a +2 or a -2? So cross out H, can't be H. So it's pointing downwards, opening up downwards, it's been shifted to the right, and then it's been shifted upward. Which one represents shifting upward? Okay, go on to number 5. If y equals kx squared plus 3x plus r in the equation, the parabola below, then the product of k times r. So this is going to be much like the example we did at the very beginning of this skill set. So k times r. So first of all, do we have a positive k or a negative k? This is positive because it opens upward. And the r, is it positive or negative? Negative because the y-intercept is negative. So a positive times a negative is a negative.